The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are a darn good football team, and it would not surprise me whatsoever if they went on a deep postseason run and even made it into the Super Bowl. I talked about this all offseason. What this team can do offensively should terrify the NFL, quite frankly, and they're not even at their peak yet. They're not even at their peak. They're banged up. They're going to get so much healthier, and the Buccaneers have started this season out 2-0 with two really nice wins, quite frankly, over two good teams on the road. I think this Buccaneers team is legit. And I believe that they are a team that's capable of going on a run in the NFC right now. I understand that we look at the Philadelphia Eagles and what they possess. Obviously, the dominant postseason run that they went on last year, but they kind of remind me of the Philadelphia team that actually Tampa Bay beat a few years ago, where they have this Super Bowl run. The secondary is not as good, and ultimately the Buccaneers, with their high-flying offense, beat Philadelphia, and I could see the same thing happening this year. I think Philadelphia is definitely gettable. I don't love that secondary whatsoever, and of course, the Green Bay Packers are like this juggernaut right now in the NFC, and we'll see where the Buccaneers stack up against them. But I think outside of Philadelphia, Green Bay, and maybe the Los Angeles Rams, I think the Buccaneers are absolutely in this conversation to be one of the best teams in the NFC. And it comes down to this team offensively. Last year, they were so special on that side of the ball. They were top three in every single category, top three in yards per game. They were top three in passing yards per game. They were top four in rushing yards per game, and they had the fourth most points per game. And it was like they could come at you in a multitude of ways. Of course, the offensive line is great, and we haven't even seen how good it's going to be this year. Tristan Wirfs hasn't played one game yet. Luke Gedeke got hurt last night, and ultimately you have Will Anderson Jr. and Danielle Hunter, two tremendous edge rushers coming off the edge, and this Tampa Bay offensive line, in my opinion, held up really well. They were running the ball at a really high rate, and that was one of the things they did so well last year with Bucky Irving and Rashad White, and they were just pounding the football last night, and that really was what set the tone for this entire offense, and it's what it's going to be for the entirety of this season. If they can run the ball at a high level, you're not going to be able to stop this team. Mike Evans is finally healthy. He was banged up last year, dealing with that hamstring injury. You get him healthy for this season, but you've got a plethora of pieces around him that make this offense so good. Of course, you draft Emeka Egbuka at 19th overall, and right now he's the favorite to win the Offensive Rookie of the Year, and it's deservedly so. The dude is tied for the most receiving touchdowns in football with 3. He's looked so good. You go back to week 1 against the Falcons on the road, he catches a game-winning touchdown, and it was said that he, in the huddle, went up to Baker Mayfield and was like, I'm going to be open on this post, hit me, we're going to win the game right here. And that's exactly what happened. And how much moxie and how much poise do you have to have as a rookie to call your own number and say, guess what? I know we've got a future Hall of Famer to my left, and Baker, you're a tremendous quarterback, but guess what? Put the ball in my hands, I'm going to win it. And Baker got him the ball. And this receiving core is only going to get better. You're going to get Chris Godwin, who of course had that season-ending injury last year, but took a massive pay cut to stay with the Buccaneers. And this team right now is so dangerous offensively. Mike Evans, Emeka Egbuka, K. Dotton, Chris Godwin, of course, the dynamic duo of running backs with Bucky Irving, Rashad White, and Baker Mayfield, who's just playing like a top 10 quarterback in football, quite frankly. He's been playing at an unbelievable rate these last few seasons, and he's only continuing to get better and better. And I look at Tampa Bay with these big wins on the road. This is a really good tone setter for the season. I don't think a lot of people right now would be surprised if Tampa Bay would be 1-1 or maybe even 0-2 with a really tough first 2 games. They were a slight favorite against Atlanta, but whenever you're going on the road against a divisional opponent, and the Atlanta Falcons are not some team that stink, this was a game that they could have lost. Younghoe Koo misses that field goal at the very end. You just escape with that win if you're Tampa Bay. And then you go on the road against Houston, where you are an underdog, and Baker Mayfield has that huge drive to ultimately win this game for Tampa Bay. He converts that 4th and 10. And this Buccaneers team now is 2-0. They are looking really good, and they're just going to continue to get better once they get healthier. And I think this team legitimately could go on a Super Bowl run. They're so talented. They're so good. And if the defense can continue to hold up, that's really the one question mark. We saw Kalijah Cansey get hurt last night, but Levante David is still playing at an unbelievable level. I think the secondaries looked pretty good so far this year, but I'm excited about this Buccaneers team, to say the least, ladies and gentlemen. I just believe that in the NFC, the secret to success is what you can do offensively. The Packers have got one of the best defenses in football. The Philadelphia Eagles are gettable in that secondary. And I think for the Rams, if there's one area of that defense that you're going to attack, it's the secondary. And for the Buccaneers, they've got enough offensively to be able to contend with some of these big defenses and some of the great teams in the NFL. And at the end of the day, I believe that they are capable of going on a deep run. I really believe in this Buccaneers team. And this team has won the NFC South for 4 straight years in a row. I said at the beginning of the season they were going to do it for 5 straight years in a row. The only team that can legitimately contend with them in the NFC South is the Atlanta Falcons, and they're already 1-0 against them. This division is going to be an absolute cupcake. Obviously, the New Orleans Saints are not good at all. The Carolina Panthers absolutely stink as well. And when I look at the back half of the schedule for Tampa Bay, they've got a 6-week stretch where they play absolutely nobody. They play Arizona at home, New Orleans at home, Atlanta at home, Carolina on the road, Miami on the road, and Carolina at home. That is easily a 6-week stretch where this team can go 6-0, can really make a run for that number 1 overall seed in the NFC, because you do not want to go on the road in Philadelphia to ultimately try and get to the Super Bowl. It's going to be super tough. The only thing I'll say to finish up the video here is I think that Baker Mayfield could be a dark horse MVP candidate. I've been so impressed with his play over the last few years. Obviously, last year was the best season of his entire career. He had 41 touchdowns, 16 interceptions, and 4,500 total passing yards. The dude was unbelievable last year, and I think if he can cut down the turnover numbers, which he's already done so far, he's got nearly 400 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 0 picks. If he can really cut down on the turnover numbers, I think Baker Mayfield's going to be a guy that can absolutely throw his hat in the ring for the MVP race. We all understand that to win the MVP and be considered for it, you've got to have the winning, you've got to have the stats. This Buccaneers offense is built for Baker Mayfield, and Baker knows how to run it. This is an unbelievable win against the Texans, one of the best defenses in football. Baker led this massive drive with everything stacked against this Buccaneers team. So many injuries going on. I think this is a team that can absolutely make it to the Super Bowl, ladies and gentlemen. They are, in my opinion, the 3rd best team in the NFC. And until we see more, I believe that they can be the number 1 team in the NFC by the time it's all said and done. I'm Caden Kubler, and thank you guys for watching.